Hey everybody, welcome to the third day of six golden eggs. So it's the third golden egg today. That's what we're going to play with. That's what we're going to do today. The third golden egg. How does it get better than that? And we're going to see if this is light enough. Is this light enough? Can you guys see me? Papa, can you see me? Okay, so we're going to have some fun today. And by the way, you made it, Marion. Hello. So, just so you know, I am aware that I wore the same outfit 2 days in a row on my first two lives. I'm aware of that. I didn't know till after that I had done that, but a little known fact about me on the weekends when it's cold is I bundle up into like a drug rug or whatever is like the warmest, and I stay in it all weekend. So, it produced me with the same outfit 2 days in a row. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about that? So, thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to get into the third golden egg. Okay, so the third golden egg is about creating your own personal economy. Okay, so the first golden egg, do you remember what the first golden egg was? The first golden egg, I actually don't remember what it was now. That's funny. You know why? Because the first golden egg was originally designed to talk about like being able to find the gold even in sort of difficult times or more lean times, if you will. But I ended up going all over the map. That's kind of how I roll. So I ended up given like 18 tools in that one. So if you haven't seen the first live, go back and see it. It's awesome. The second live is about how to expand rather than contract, and also when everyone else is contracting. And so today is about creating your own personal economy. So what does that mean? What do I mean by that? There's the economy, and actually what we call the economy is made up. And it's mostly made up by people who benefit from it being a high or low tide or what have you. It's almost always artificially constructed in some form or manner, which is why it's not useful to hitch your wagon to that, right? So people tend to contract around the economy, right? It's like, oh, we're having a recession. I can't spend. I can't do anything, right? Or we're in good times. Woohoo! And neither one works really that well. If you know what your personal economy is, if you've done the work, like we talked about, and I remember what the first one was, is getting out of the energy of the people's economies that you grew up in, okay? If you've done that work, to clear all your projections, all your expectations, all the stuff you're trying to get money to do for you, all the relationships you're trying to get it to resolve, and you are trying to resolve relationships with money. P.S. Spoiler alert for my whispering program coming up at the end of the month. So when you're when you've done all of the clearing, and you're getting out of attaching to money being something that it isn't. And you can start to look at it and go, well, what's my truth? What is my reality with money? What is true for me? Like some of you actually somehow were able to do that. Like I know people that grew up in poverty. They knew instinctually didn't have to be that way, and that they didn't want that to be their lives, and they made different choices, right? Most people's economy is created by a reaction to someone else's. And then you're in an interlock. A lot of your energy is getting lost in the interlock of economies, so to speak. It was really interesting during the 2008, 2009 big real estate burst, mortgage industry collapse. It was so funny to me because I had several people who said, oh, I have to stop working because of the economy. And I said, well, Has your income been impacted? Has anything been impacted? Have you lost it? No, 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 no. But the economy. I'm like, oh, I have not taught you very well at all. And then I worked with a couple realtors during that time. And because they sorted for where the possibility lied rather than hitching their wagon to what everybody said about the real estate industry and the mortgage industry, they actually sorted for something more potent. And so short sales and helping people out of bankruptcy and all the things, right? They just pivoted into this new space, right? That's why there's more millionaires and billionaires created during downtimes than at any other time, because 90% or more of the population has hitched their wagon to the economy, and they make decisions based on it rather than going, what's my economy? What do I know? Where are my golden eggs, dude, right? And actually sorting for that. And when we do that, we find things no one else is looking for, because everybody left the playing field, right? All these people just left the playing field because of the economy, right? Instead of going, what's my economy? And what do I know? And what possibilities are there for me right now? How can I outcreate this, right? So there's this, it's an interesting phenomena as I look through all of the predictions, right, for 2023. I don't really even go there. Like, that doesn't mean I don't use my awareness. I probably will not buy a house in Salt Lake City right now because it's at the top of the market, unless there was some kind of special deal or something that came up that was a lower price point. That's just where my awareness is right now, based on my personal economy, right? And so it's not that I'm not aware of what's happening, but I'm aware, and then I go, okay, what do I know? And how can I use all of this to my advantage? Developing our personal economy takes work, you guys. And I have been working at it for maybe, when I started really realizing that I could have my own economy was maybe about 10 years ago. And I guess I didn't really think about it too much. I was just having so much fun doing what I loved, right? And as I got older, I realized that I have a relationship with money. And sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great. And I had to start looking underneath that to see what that was about. And given how this reality operates with money, given how my family operated with money, I continually do work to get out of that so that there's less projections on money and more just possibility of what can money be for me? How can it serve me? How can it support me in my endeavors and the things that I'm doing and creating in the world? How can I use it to empower other people? How can I use it to empower myself? But it's a daily practice, because pretty much everybody around me, other than people like in some of my programs and the bodies of work that I play with and study, and there's different conversations happening there, but day to day, the people around me are hooked into this idea of the economy. And so we have to get really, really powerful and strong in the awareness of what our own economy is and declare it, because it's super easy to get sucked in to the masses. I want to share with you something. Hi, Kaysen. I'm glad that you came back. And Penny and Joanna. Hello, everybody. Thanks, Jody. You're coming in live today. Nice. Yes, Lana, again. Lana, I think you need to get a prize for the most consistent participant in the 6 golden eggs. So, there was I listened to Abraham Hicks on and off through the years. Some of you know who they are. It's just a woman by the name of Esther Hicks, who channels these group of beings called Abraham, and they really, you would know her probably through the law of attraction. She has there's a lot of awareness about the law of attraction that isn't part of the secret. That's like kind of deeper stuff, which they do a lot of teaching around. And they were telling a story of how people will and this was during a time of inflation when this was happening, and people go, oh no, gas is this much, eggs are this much, this is this much, right? And what the Abraham said is like, what if that was an opportunity to expand past your paradigm? What if the higher prices is an opportunity to go beyond where you've let yourself go before? Now, have you guys ever done that? Like, I can't even tell you how many times. Like, when I got certified to be an Access Conscious facilitator with travel and everything, it was about $40,000, right? And that was like a big stretch for me to generate an extra $40,000 beyond what my living was at the time. But by doing that, I expanded my economy. I expanded what I thought was possible. I expanded, I really, really started moving into travel as a lifestyle through that choice to go beyond what I had decided was expensive. And what Abraham said in this download was simply like, what if that higher price is actually telling you that you need to go to a different level? And the way that I like to talk about that is a word I got from Access Consciousness, which is, what would it take to outcreate that, right? But you have to understand that, and why I'm telling this story is that whether you perceive something as expensive or not expensive or cheap is all points of view. It's not real, people. How do I know? Because most of you listening right now or in the future are quite extravagantly wealthy for 70% of the world's population, regardless of where you think your economy is right now. For somebody in a third world country, you're rich as hell, right? And vice versa, it's pricing in my industry is a very interesting thing. I mean, Tony Robbins charges $1 million an hour to coach with him. Okay, that's one level. That's so expensive. Is it? Right? And everything in between. But it's interesting because over the years, I've had people go, well, that's really expensive. And literally 2 minutes later, had somebody go, that's really inexpensive, right? All of that is our personal economy, Where we want to get to as part of developing our own personal economy, where we want to get to is interesting point of view, where the number does not mean anything other than information, Some of you may have read my post about my car, and the original car that I saw that I wanted was an Audi. It was $68,000 and it was 4 years old. So I used my awareness. I am aware that Audis tend to need more fixing as they get older, and that to fix an Audi is quite expensive, right? And so I didn't go, ooh, that's too expensive. I went, do I desire that car at that price, right? Is that going to create more for me? The answer was no. And I ended up finding this really cute little Volkswagen GLI for half that price, brand new, with a lifetime warranty. And I love it. I think I love it. I think I like it more than the Audis out there now. So, and then I come to find out, get this, you guys, is that Volkswagen made that Audi, and the car I have is almost the exact same car. So it's interesting how things come around. It wasn't, now I could have said, ooh, that's too expensive. And what am I doing? I'm planting myself in a limitation, and I am defining my personal economy by an arbitrary number. And how much have you defined your economy by arbitrary numbers of that's expensive, that's cheap, that's this, that's that? Well, is it? It is to you, right? The thing you want to take a look at, guys, and this is super important because most of your points of view about the numbers came from someone else's economy, and you're regurgitating it. Could be daddy's economy, mommy's economy, could be the culture economy, it could be the economy of 2008 when you were raised, you know what I mean? It's like, One of the things you've got to do is you've got to get neutral about numbers. If you want to have your own personal economy, you got to get neutral about the numbers, because numbers are just the numbers. And through the years, I've heard different teachers. Actually, Abraham is one of them. Say basically it's as easy to make $10 as $1,000,000, and a lot of people who are very wealthy talk about that. But and we go, what? No, we're calculating and we're doing all this stuff, computing in our head. Like, no, it's way harder to make $1,000,000. It really depends on your point of view. If you don't have any point of view about $10 and you don't have any point of view about $1,000,000, you'll be able to generate $1,000,000 or $10 or whatever dollars that you want, because you're out of the matrix of those numbers. And when you get into the matrix of those numbers, calling things expensive and look at inflation, you're reinforcing that you're hitching your wagon to that economy. And that's what I'm saying is, like, we got to be so careful, you guys. Like, what is your economy? Like, really, I would love it if you and me and all of us listening to this right now could let go of expensive, or that's a good price, or whatever, and just go, oh, interesting. That's an interesting number. Okay, what's true? What's true about that? And it's an interesting thing. Like, people think that this is about just having everything you want. And it's a lot of the feedback I get when I do money programs. It's not about money, Megan. But it is. Abundance includes money, right? And we have such limiting points of view about it. And when we get out of the points of view about expensive, and I'm still working on it, I'm still playing with it, I had to, when I came up across that Audi, I was like, I had to really go, if I really wanted that, could I create it? Absolutely. And that's the thing that you want to get, is that you can have anything. You can create anything. But is it right? Is it going to create more for you? Is it something that's going to enhance your life and living? Is it where you want to put your money right now? All of those choices get sort of shoved under this label called, well, that's too expensive. Well, I don't have the money right now. Da, 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 da. Instead of actually, what would you like to choose? There's an exercise that I got in the book, Money's Not the Problem, You Are. By the way, excellent book if you want to change what's going on with money. And there's an exercise in there that where you go to, like, one of your favorite stores, right? And for an hour or whatever, you just go around and look at the things that you've always wanted, that you think that you want, and go, I can have that, I can have that. Or maybe you go onto a car lot, if car is your thing, right? I can have that, I can have that, I can have that. Part of why people overspend is because they believe they can't have something. So that if they believe they can't have it, then the having of it creates a worth, or a false sense of worth to them. And it's almost like they're showing mom or they're showing dad or whatever. But when you actually understand that you can have anything, that you could have any lifestyle, that you could choose anything that you want. Now, you may not be able to generate that like all at once, right? But you can. Like, if you go on to almost any store, they'll have some kind of layaway program, even if it's like a $5,000 couch or something like that. And you could pay it off over a period of time if it was really, really important to you, and that's what you chose, and that's what you wanted. Once you understand, and by the way, don't do that exercise, because it'll change a lot of stuff for you. And if you like being hitched to this economy, then just keep doing that. But if you'd like to start breaking free of the economy and finding your economy, I want you to start thinking about in these kinds of terms of, like, okay, cool. Like, I can have that, I can have that, I can have a $100,000 Maserati, I can have this, right? And when you understand, and when your body gets that there's no lack, that there's no not having, then you can start to kind of just drop in and go, what do I really want? And the funny thing is that once you get out of I can't have and into everything is available to me, which is the truth, right? And then what actually turns out is that there's a whole lot of stuff you think you want that you don't. And then it makes it really clear, like the stuff that's like, yeah, I would really like to have that. I would really like to choose that for myself. Okay, then you start the process of, what will it take? what's required. Like, if it takes you 5 years to get the thing, cool. Because it's really about the things we truly desire, the things that will enhance our life and living. The process of actualizing them grows us like nothing else does. It asks us to get out of our interesting ideas of what's expensive, what's not. But like, why are you choosing based on that? Why are you choosing based on somebody else's interesting point of view of what's expensive and what's not? Hello, that just keeps you hooked in, right? So one of the best things you can do to get out of this economy is to interesting point of view all the numbers. And what I mean by that, it's a tool from Access Consciousness, and it's simply interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And you say it again and again and again and again and again and again and again until it neutralizes, right? And there's still things for me that I go, ooh, that's too expensive, right? But the truth is, and I look at like a $500 million house, I don't want a $500 million house. I'm a kid I like to be able to move fast, right? I don't like to do a lot of upkeep. You know what I mean? And so I was like, cool, $500 million house. But I absolutely know that if that was part of my blueprint, and that's part of would expand my life and living. And if at some point in the future that changes, I'll let you know, okay? And I'll be like, cool, what would it take to create this, right? And so what if nothing was expensive and nothing was cheap, right? So I have two big assignments for you today. And here's the deal. This is gold stuff. Like, I have been studying this stuff for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, and this is the best stuff. This is the best stuff. And this is just a taster, a little tiny taster of what I'm going to be doing for 21 days and become a money whisperer. Because we're going to get out of other people's freaking economy, get into ours, and go forward. And I also wanted to contribute to, because some of you may be in maybe a financial position you haven't been in for a while, and things are a little bit tight. And I wanted to give this gift to you guys, regardless of whether you choose the program or not. But I want you to know that it's available. I want you to know that it's choosable. And I put it at a price point that I feel like if you actually want it, you can create it, right? And I want to give a lot of value in these lives, because I believe that everybody should have this awareness. Everybody should have these tools. And sometimes we need a little gift once in a while, a little leg up to where we can get to a place where we can play a bigger game. And that's what I'm doing here. So the two big takeaways today is go to a place that, like, of something that you're dreaming of, right? It could be like clothes, it could be a boat shop, it could be whatever, like toys, snowmobiles, whatever, right? And I just want you to go around and go, for as long as it takes for you to really get, oh, I really could have that. What's true is that we're not choosing it. And that's the thing. Instead of actually owning and claiming our choice, we're making it about money. We're making money the scapegoat, right? It's like, it's not that $500 million house is too expensive. It's just that I don't choose it. If it was in me, if something in me lit up around it, I would choose it. I would create it. I would find a way. And we do. We find a way to afford what's important to us. But guess what? You're going to be able to afford more things if you get out of this nonsense of expensive, not expensive. So go to your favorite store, tell yourself you can have it all, and then look to see, what is it you really want? If you can have all of that, what is it that you really want? What is it you really desire? Then I want you to interesting point of view the hell out of every number. Notice yourself going, oh, that's expensive, that's cheap, that's this, that's that, that's that. And interesting point of view the hell out of it until you're neutral. And when you're neutral, you can actually look at, what is it that I'd really like to have? What's going to create more for me? What's going to create more for my life? And your choices are going to be cleaner and clearer when you're not making it about price. And what the hell? How is that ever important, right? It's like, how many amazing experiences have you missed out on because of you told yourself it was too expensive? And who the hell's economy is that anyway? I have never regretted one penny I have spent to advance my learning. Not one penny. And something I want to share with you that's really, really valuable. The word afford and the etymologies, the original definition of things are in the word. The word afford means to advance oneself. When you say I can't afford, what you're saying is I can't advance myself. Or I don't believe in my ability to advance myself. Nobody affords anything. People choose. Are you willing to advance yourself in a particular direction? Is it time to advance yourself with money? And if it is, I'd invite you to invest in this course. And I normally am not this strong in my sales talk, so to speak, but I probably will not do a course of this level at this price again. I want to give this as a gift this year to as many people as ready to change their money story. What if, and you want to take a look at, like, what will my life be like in a year if I choose that it's too expensive? What will my life be like in a year if I choose to advance myself in this direction? And I'm not just talking about the course. I'm talking about your life. Make your life about choice. Do not go into other people's realities or this economy or anything else to choose your life. And, as I said before, like, some of us want to buy lots of crap because we're reacting to the construction. It's not about that either. It's really about getting out of the programming of this economy and coming in and going, what's going to create more for me? I know I have a really good friend who wants to live off the grid, right? And she wants to live in a yurt, way off the grid. And I can't think of anything more horrible. But do you see how we have different economies, right? And some people would never live the apartment lifestyle. I love the freedom of it. At some point, maybe I'll have a house with servants. I don't know. But right now, living 10 minutes from the airport, being able to go at a moment's notice, not having any overhead, not being responsible for anything, it works for me, right? And so it's part of my economy right now. It's part of what I'm choosing. I'm not choosing it because I can't afford something else. I'm choosing it because this is what works for me. And my friend in the yurt is choosing that because that's her economy. She wants to live off the land. She wants to make coats out of animal hides, right? And it's like, that's what lights her up. And that's the beautiful thing, you guys, is that wealth and riches is also in your personal economy. What that is for you is different than what it is for me. And if you find yourself comparing your economy to someone else's, please do the interesting point of view tool, right? Because that will trap you in stuff too. It's like, oh, who do they think they are? Or, oh, I'm so much better because they're choosing that, like all that stuff. Like, it's a freaking waste of energy, and it hooks you into other people's economies, right? So you want to understand. So a lot of what I'm doing in the Become a Money Whisperer program is helping you get out of all the other economies and find your personal economy and come into your life at full choice, not using money as a scapegoat, not using time as a scapegoat, not using a person as a scapegoat, not using health as a scapegoat. Like, choose your life. Most people who are having money problems are actually denying some aspect of their power of choice. Most people who are doing money problems are denying some aspect of their power of choice. Now, that's a bomb. And that's actually what the program is about, is actually coming to the place of full power of choice, and being able to know that you can choose anything, any life, anything that you want. How in the hell does it get better than that? Oh goodness, I kind of feel a little preachy today. I kind of do. So I know I didn't sort of engage with the comments too much today. I really wanted to get this all out. I wanted to give you this resource. I wanted to give you a nudge and say, hey, let's do this. Let's be ballers. Let's be ballers of life and like really, really choose our life and get out of this nonsense of right and wrong and good and bad and high price and low price. Let's get neutral about it and see what works for us. See what works for us. I'm going to be posting the link to my program. I have holiday pricing right now at $144. After Christmas, it's going to go up to $247, which is the regular price of the program. So for the next 5 days, 6 days, it's $144. I invite you to take a look at it and reach out to me if you have any questions. And we're going to get this party started on December 29th. And I will be back tomorrow, same time, same bat station. I don't know what tomorrow's topic is going to be yet. It hasn't landed yet. So tomorrow, 11:30 Mountain Standard Time AM for the 4th golden egg. Don't know what that'll be, but maybe you want to come and find out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being present, for engaging, for being here whenever you got here, now or in the future. Here's to our personal economies.